Welcome to Study Loop.
Chapter 1, Section 6, Problem 22. Question: how many times does the human heart beat during a person's lifetime? So what we want to find out is how many beats occur in a lifetime. And so this is the units of beats per time unit. And so we're going to have to start off with a basic approximation. And so assuming that our heart kind of beats like boom, boom, that's one beat. That's probably approximately one beat per 2 seconds. Just assume we have a really slow heart rate. And so we eventually want to get to lifetimes. And so the closest, we start off with at least one unit of time, and then we can move from there. And so in order to get lifetimes, we know lifetimes are usually approximated in about years. So let's move from seconds to lifetime. And so we know that there's 60 seconds in a minute. And we know there's 60 minutes in an hour. And there's 24 hours in a day. And there's 365 days in a year. And so we're going to throw in another approximation and just say about the average life expectancy is about 70 years in a lifetime. So this answer actually comes out to be approximately 1.1 times 10 to the 9 beats. So let's cancel out the units of time right here. Beats per lifetime. Okay, and so the two basic approximations that were made were here, where we estimated about how many beats per quick unit time and about the average lifetime of an expectancy. So this answer is really going to depend on these two parameters. So if you would have assumed that a heart beats boom, and that's like in 1 second, then you would have had double this answer. Or if you would have had a longer lifetime or shorter lifetime, it's going to affect the answer of that one. Okay, and so the next part of the question says about how many gallons does a heart beat? And so we're going to have to make the approximation or the guess that it's still assuming in the lifetime. So it's how many gallons per lifetime does this heart beat? And gallons is a unit of volume. And we're conveniently given that we can start off with, we could assume that for each beat, there's 50 centimeters, cubic centimeters pumped per beat. Okay, and so we could just begin with this approximation of 1.1 times 10 to the 9 beats per lifetime. And since we're conveniently given this in this form, we can just multiply it by that. And already by unit cancellation, we can see that we'll get a volume over lifetime, but we need it in units of gallon. And so one quick transformation to just realize is, let's turn these to liters and then potentially go from liters to gallons. And if you have direct unit conversions, you can go ahead and use those. Okay, and we know that there's, for every cubic centimeter, it's equivalent to 1 milliliter. And we know that there's 1,000 milliliters per liter. And looking up a unit conversion table, we find out that for every gallon, there's about 3.78 liters. This gives us approximately 4.6 million gallons per lifetime. So this is how many gallons basically the heart ends up pumping in a lifetime. And so this is a direct calculation. We didn't make any direct approximations except for the given one here. And so our direct approximations were made from how many beats per second and about the approximate lifetime of a person. And this one we were given directly, so it's not as much that we made. And that's about what you would expect. And so you can get different values just depending on the approximation.